players within that community, but let's dive straight into this. It is Shark Assassin using the Super Witch's 7 lightning spells. And interestingly, there was a couple of players in Shark Assassins that said the Super Witches were their favorite attack, which is a little bit off meta. So I'm interested to see this.
I'm just so surprised by this base setup. It looked so interesting. It's looked like one of those legend bases where you're coming across where you would like to skip the base because it's just looking so strange. So let's see how it's going to defend against those Super Witches. We have the Lock Launcher to empower those Super Witches even more. A jump spell further on to lead them into the tunnel compartment. But hey, first off, well, everything has to work correctly because this king has to funnel soon. The king is not placed yet. The second wall break is in to make sure everything is going to land and going to walk into the core as he will like things to have.
Yeah, unfortunately not able to skip this one, and just using the one hand in order to keep everything rolling because he has a lot of the troops down already, just reacting with these spells and other various components of the attack. Log Launcher nice and delayed there in order to help push everything through towards the Town Hall. Will probably use the Royal Champion from the right-hand side, I would guess, momentarily, but the Warden ability does help that balloon move through and get all of the traps within the center of the base there, Itsu, but it looks like he's lost some of the big boys. However, the Super Witches continue through the middle.
Yeah, and he has to rage now really soon. There is the rage. I'm just confused by the player. Well, we have the Royal Champion now coming in from the right side. The king is on the right side with the big boys. But something has to go for the town hall. Something has to go for the town hall. Because, well, the town hall is the second star, is really clutch. The jump spell to get the king back inside. And the healers are following.
Well, the queen is on the town hall. It will fall momentarily. He's got the Royal Champion ability left to go. And let's just confirm that was the wrong camera for the player. For anybody at home, a little bit of technical issues there. But anyone wondering, yes, that was not the player attacking one of his teammates. And, well, he did enough. Once he knew his teammate was about to get that 3-star, decided to take a little bit of a walk because it is going to be the opening 3-star for Shark Assassins. Exactly what we like to see it too.
Yeah, exactly what we like to see indeed. And there's the 3-star with those Super Witches. You have said it, they really like those Super Witches, which makes it really like an uncommon strategy, which is not getting used that often, which is really then not that easy to predict because sometimes, well, you have different entries. This entry might be common with P.E.K.K.A. Smash, but P.E.K.K.A. Smash at the end of the day is completely different to Super Witches again. So really kind of outplaying the meta, creating their own meta, if you want to say so. So really good first attack. And, well, now it's up to tie things up. Getting the next 3-star in for ZBB, or actually the first 3-star. And we have Inferno Dragons and Dragon Riders, a strategy which got really heavily nerfed. But is it still going to be strong enough in the right hands? That's the main question. We have 4 skeleton spells and a couple of rocket runes for later sniping some defense. But those Inferno Dragons are placed. The Dragon Riders are right behind. And so everything can get started and put, strategically into the base.
Well, like you said, the nerf did impact this strategy, but we did see some 3-stars in the previous war. I wonder what strategies he was using in the monthly pre-qualifier because his hit rate is less than 30%. However, so far for this one, it is a very aggressive push in towards the base. The Battle Blimp just side-swiping, trying to make sure he's not running into any potential bait. But you do see the rocket balloons now lured out of the clan castle, freezing and hopefully getting those down momentarily with the skeleton spells down onto the Archer Queen as well. Slowly progressing through the middle of the base, but with the Royal Champion now moving in from the top area, he's just hoping the Inferno Dragons can get down towards this multi-target Inferno.
Yeah, there's the last freeze. Nicely timed to overpower the back end. The Royal Champion with her ability has 2 more freezes, Judo. This is looking crushed with the king at the bottom side to still tank. And with that Royal Champion shield, this is still going to be an overkill. And this strategy is still working in the right hands. We see it right here. Really nicely done. He has still 1 freeze, which he can use. He's not going to do so, but still it's going to be enough to finish off the career of this base in just under 2 minutes. So yeah, that's an overpowering 3-star, and ZBB is showing that they are here to play and tie things up again against the Shark team.
Hey, it was a 50-50 prediction, right? So we need to keep things interesting as we move through. One thing I always like to see is as the traps are popping in the base, you might have noticed all of the air bombs down towards the bottom, the tornado trap as well. Really interesting in terms of trying to bait something down to that area. Obviously did not work out for Shark Assassins on defense, but they are exactly where they want to be, essentially maintaining 3 stars themselves. So let's see who can continue and who will potentially crack under the pressure.
That's the big question. The next question is, do we see Super Witches again? No. We see is it actually the first Queen Charge Dragon Rider of today, of this qualifier, the most used strategy before this last balance change. And today, this is, am I wrong, Shooter? This is the first Dragon Rider, Queen Charge Dragon Rider take today, right?
No, it is, yeah. We've seen Dragon Riders, but not in terms of the Queen Charge. This is Kelvin's favorite attack, and it always interests me as to whether the players decide to go with their favorite or whether they mix it up thinking they might have been baited. But you see, the Battle Blimp on this one, not intended to get the Town Hall, just to try and take out the buildings next to it to funnel the Archer Queen, but also relieve a little bit of damage when she does dive into that compartment.
Yeah, the wall break's already set. The Hound should be taken down easily. And now the Queen should have the correct pathing. The question, though, is it going to be too much damage? No, he's just sending in the King because there is 2 Expos defending Warden and a Sweeper against this charge, which is, well, for everyone who already did a Queen charge, this is quite a bit of damage on this Queen. In addition to that, it's going to be the defending Town Hall in just a second as well. So there is a lot of pressure on this Queen, which is not easy to keep her alive. And there's the NATO trap, rotating the Queen further into this Town Hall. Maybe the Town Hall poison, and this could be really bad news for him.
That is bad news because you see she is standing right inside that poison. He might have hoped she was just along the outskirts and would cling on to the buildings next to the wall there to keep her out of range, but he is managing to keep her alive, uses the jump spell, still has the ability as he will be moving her into the center of the base, but the Dragon Riders aiming to swipe in now and just move everything through the base together. Perhaps would have hoped the Queen got in towards that multi-target Inferno, but I think at least the scatter shot is his target. Dragon Rider's taking a lot of damage here though, Itsu, and still a lot of base left up.
Yeah, a lot of base left up indeed, especially now with the Royal Champion under fire of this defending King. So the Royal Champ did not survive quite a bit. And now there's still a big compartment left. The Scatter, Expo, Multi-Inferno Tower, and the Tesla Farm on the back end is not making things easier for Kelvin right here. There's 1 freeze left, but all of the Dragon Riders just died. And with this Queen having to break through at least a couple of walls, we know she likes to do that. And this means time is an issue as well. There's the first wall, and she has her ability. He's not using it just yet. The Warden is going down as well, and this might be the first defense of this match. And we really saw the change to the Dragon Riders. A lot of people said they're way too tanky, but with this range reduction, this means they have to fly closer to the defense, which means air defenses, for example, can shoot earlier, and this is having really a big impact on those Dragon Riders and actually on the HP of them. And this was really showcased nicely in this attack. This means it's going to be around about a 90-ish%. Shark is falling short, but now at the same time it's all coming down if ZBB can take down the next base and getting an advantage out of this. Defense is always great, but if you can't really make use out of that, it's not worth anything pretty much, sadly.
Yeah, exactly. Particularly with 91%, it is not a bad percentage. I wonder if he could have held the Dragon Riders a little bit more. I think he wanted the Archer Queen to get in towards the center, and it's always that tough balance as to send them in quick enough so you don't time fail, but obviously that you've already got that value to mitigate damage from them. So it's a tough one, but unfortunately with them having to have such a wide spread, they just didn't have that power into the base. But like you said, it is the chance for ZBB to take the advantage here. The P.E.K.K.A. Smash we have seen pretty good success with so far today. So let's find out what he has for us with the Grand Warden starting at 6 o'clock. Again, you notice the scatter shot, probably his target.
Yeah, and this time, since I always like to talk about those pet combinations, this time we see that he's choosing to go with the owl on the warden, which is not getting that much value. It's just all about like a couple of seconds quicker with the warden walk, but except that it's not giving you that much value. But the value which you get through this is having the queen with the unicorn, especially on the back end of a base where the healers maybe are going to the P.E.K.K.A, maybe are going to the king, different troops. This is really, really beneficial. So let's see if it's going to have a big impact on this base. The P.E.K.K.A are actually funneling this top right side. The king, though, is going to be sent into the main push, and instead the P.E.K.K.A of the siege barracks with those wizards are going to be sent into the defending eagle compartment. Freeze onto the defending scatter, and now the party can go because everything is getting raged up and the ward ability should follow shortly.
Yeah, interesting that one, because normally you like the king's ability to flush out an area as well. You see the Archer Queen trying to help the P.E.K.K.A over to that right-hand side, but he doesn't have a lot of force over there, so that's why you now see the Royal Champion, as the Hog Riders popped, try and have them move through that area of the base together. P.E.K.K.A jumping in towards that Town Hall nicely. Good invisibility spell, catching not just the P.E.K.K.A in that single target Inferno, but slightly from the multi. Giga Bomb does indeed go off though, and the troops will be standing inside that for a significant portion, which will do a lot of damage to those P.E.K.K.A.
Yeah, that's right. But now take a look at that queen. Take a look at the unicorn. That queen would have already been down, but with that unicorn, she's slowly getting healed up again and maybe has a chance for the comeback for the 3-star. After the majority of his troops died to the Town Hall poison, the Royal Champ having zero ability left could be clutch on the back end. Because, well, there's only the Inferno Tower pretty much as a big threat left. The Hog Riders are still tanking. And Judo, this is looking good for ZBB. They are pushing in. The Unicorn choice on that queen was awesome because she's now nearly at full HP again. And with that Royal Champ ability, this should be no problem and no time fail whatsoever. So just a great P.E.K.K.A smash all around to make sure that they're collecting the second 3-star for them in this really important match.
Yeah, very nice attack. And I also want to mention the king. It was interesting sending it into the base, but it worked out fantastic. But because he had so much more for cleanup at the end. And obviously, even if he was in danger of the 3-star, the barbarians would have been able to tank a little bit as well. So an interesting play, but worked out well for him, giving them the advantage, not just on the percentage, but obviously a star ahead and continuing their perfect streak.
Yeah, now we have to see if Shark can answer. We already heard that quite a few of their players actually like those Super Witches. I remember they were playing 2 to sometimes even 3 Super Witch attacks over their, like in their matches during the pre-qualifiers. So we might see some more Super Witches, a strategy which we typically don't see that often. But hey, we have again a Queen Charge Dragon Rider attack onto this base. And we have a multi-Inferno Tower deep in the core with that Eagle as a combination. And the single Inferno Tower behind the Town Hall, which makes those Queen Charges around the Town Hall so incredible tricky. And as well, this base, I think, is the perfect base to explain why we see so many openings in those walls. Because I think that's a big question to a lot of people out there. Why are those openings there? Because wall breaks are then harder to predict. We can see that on the left side of the tunnel compartment, around that single Inferno Tower, at the bottom side still. But obviously this gives you then other possibilities. Is that queen now walking inside with that opening? And this might be the case, but the single Inferno Tower is waiting for her.
Yeah, very nicely just walks right in towards that Town Hall. Now Bale does like the Queen Charge Dragon Rider. It's his favorite attack so far. Shark Assassins sticking to that. So keep an eye on the player called August Itsu. He is the other one that likes the Super Witches. But you see the red air bombs down there. Balloons triggering that. An interesting play by ZBB. Perhaps thinking that the Queen Charge would come to this area, as it did.
Oh, that invisibility spell could be clutch if the Inferno Tower is going down. Another freeze. Is the Inferno Tower going down? No! No, the Hound is tanking again, but the Inferno Tower has to go down. And yes, this one loon is actually taking it down. And now everything is depending on the Eagle. Where is the Eagle shooting? If the Eagle is targeting those healers, this could be a quick finish for this attack. But now we have the King walking around. Is the funnel going to be placed? No! The King is walking, and this is devastating for the attacker.
Oh!
But he's coming back.
He comes. He sent the Dragon Riders over the top anyway, but the Barbarian King obviously knocks down the Archer Queen pretty quick, which is helpful for him in order to make sure that... Oh, but yeah, he's lost the Queen down the bottom of the base, and that is huge now. Tornado Trap catching the Dragon Riders. Really tricky situation here.
Yeah, indeed, already catching a couple of Black Mines really early. Lost already the first Dragon Rider, which is obviously not the optimal thing. Now with that Slammer at the top side, he's trying to push further. There's another wall break. There's nothing which could take this wall break. The air defenses are really deep inside the core, or like close to the core, to make sure that dragon attacks have less likely a chance. You can really see how much damage they are putting out. The multi-inferno at the top side keeps staying up, and this is like one of the worst things which can happen to you. Whenever you have an attack which is fading, where you can see already you're not going to get the 3-star, make really sure that you're going to support the troops which are on the outside, because this is where the percentage is. You're trying to support everything which is on the inside, but that's not where the percentages is. This is why this is a 64% 2-star. And, well, supporting the outside could have maybe given him a couple of more percentages, but now with this defense, it's going to be incredible hard to get a comeback, because, well, that's a really low percentage, sadly.
Yeah, not only are they multiple stars behind, but a drastic percentage as well. And just highlighting your point, Itsu, obviously, you know, to the left-hand side, to make it clear, all of the non-defensive buildings are free as long as you take out a couple of defenses on the perimeter. So again, like you said, that's why if you know you're not getting the 3-star, focus on the perimeter of the base. Just forget about the major defenses in the middle. You don't need those, essentially. They are the same as an army camp in terms of percentage points.
That's right, and we just saw at the end that he had actually sneaky goblins inside his slammer, so he did not want to charge the town hall. That was the biggest problem. But now let's get into the next attack. ZBB is in again, and that's another P.E.K.K.A. smash onto the base of the Shark Assassins. And we have the Warden Walk for this air defense, maybe even for the multi-inferno tower, depending on how much time he wants to invest for this. But then later, most likely I want to say, going into the Eagle. But to be honest, with this Wizard down there, maybe he wants to go in from the left side. Not sure yet. There's the wall break. So yeah, the Wizard was already telling us that he doesn't want to go into the Eagle, as I was first thinking. But the Warden Walk still takes some time. But within range, maybe, depending on if he wants to invest that, it should be looking fine anyways.
Yeah, so far so good in terms of the start. Like you said, probably more about time. Now, when we were, asking the players prior to the tournament, a little bit background history, I always find it interesting. We've had a few players this season that have said this, but Venus found Clash of Clans accidentally. And to, become attached to the game and get to this stage, even though you find it accidentally, always just interests me. But so far, the Grand Warden Walk is doing exactly as intended. He's got the value. Obviously, the P.E.K.K.A. now moving into the base with that outside P.E.K.K.A. doing a brilliant job to just push everything in towards the middle. Waiting on this battle blimp. I thought he might have... Yeah, he does. Send it right over the top. The Warden ability will protect that blimp, and obviously all of the troops prior to it as well.
Wow, that Warden ability was just awesome. But wait a second, that's actually baited, but the double set of Black Mines got triggered by those loons inside the Warden ability, so the blimp should actually reach the target, reach the Town Hall. There's another rage to make sure that the Town Hall is going down. The push to the core is still going strong. The Royal Champ is now coming in from the top left side as well. And with this back-end compartment being quite big, so that everything can just unleash the power which is still remaining in this army, it's looking good, but at the same time, Judo, the Eagle is staying up forever pretty much.
Yeah, that is the main thing here, trying to make sure the Royal Champion can clear the buildings at the top. And again, highlighting your point from that last attack, look, those two Wizards can now just clear all of the non-defensive buildings up at the top. Still has the Queen ability and the Royal Champion ability, so should be good here. And I do like the fact that normally when you're thinking about a P.E.K.K.A. smash, you're looking at that Town Hall, maybe thinking about driving the P.E.K.K.A. all of the way through the base to the Town Hall. But there's so many different variations with this strategy, obviously moving them in that direction, but then pivoting them in the opposite direction once you've used that Warden ability with the Battle Blimp. Really nice job getting the 3 stars for them, and now they are in a commanding position. Itsu, 2 stars in the lead with only 2 attacks remaining in this war.
Yeah, and a lot of viewers are always asking, like, what is the strongest strategy? If you want to pick up a ground strategy, which is pretty much the #1, or like at least in the top 3 strategies of the game right now for Channel 14, that's it. P.E.K.K.A. Smash it is. As you said, it's super versatile. You can use it in so many different variations with the Siege Barracks, with the Log Launcher, with the Blimp, with Warden Walk, with Queen Charge. You can keep going with this, by the way, with witches, without witches, just for a couple of examples. But this is really showing off why the strategy is so strong, because it's really hard to defend against it. But, well, this was just a showcase on how strong this strategy is, so really nicely done. And we have now August coming in, and you said it, let's go, there's the Super Witches. But in interest, wait a second. I mean, right now, I'm pushing quite a bit on Legends, and this, I think, is a base, which is 2 to 3 months old, which surprises me that it's getting used in this competition. Maybe the wrong base activated, not really sure, but either way, let's see if it's going to do the job and defend, because it has 2 single Inferno towers, and that's a big question mark, because why is there a single Inferno tower on the right, but not the left? This is really... It needs to be symmetrical. This is triggering me.
OCD kicking in there, but let's find out exactly what happens. I always think it's an interesting move when a team does decide to use a base that is potentially known to their opponents, maybe switching out the traps or baiting them into a false sense of security. So many different theories that you could have, but the lightning spell used after the Grand Warden was already deployed, creating that nice pathing for the Super Witches to obviously move right into the base. He knows where they will go, and with the King and the Siege Barracks, I would expect them to come in at the 12 o'clock area to try and force the Super Witches towards the Town Hall.
Yeah, so far so good. The Super Witch Walk is going on. The wall breaks are connecting as well. He's taking down the defending king really nice and easily. And this top side Siege Barracks is doing actually work. It's spawning so many wizards, which then again are helping nicely to push everything inside. Those lightnings did really a great job of funneling now the queen inside as well. And this so far is looking like a promising entry with those Super Witches. We have wait, there's actually a triple ice golem clan castle like from the Siege Barracks, which means they slowly have to get in front of those Super Witches. There's the rage, and this means the ice golems are now in front, and they can tank forever and make this base frozen.
Yeah, just look at how condensed the defenses are in this middle section. The Ice Golems will get fantastic value, but we have 3 defending Ice Golems as well. A freeze massacre in the center of the base, but I have to say, the Barbarian King on the outside doing a fantastic job. Royal Champion diving into the action in the center. There's so much going on, but it looks like August and the attacker is getting through this successfully. 50 seconds left to clear out the rest of these buildings, but he's still got pretty much all of his Super Witches in the center.
This was such a clean attack. Really, really good plan and really good showcase on how to use those Super Witches. For me, Super Witches not really work, and whenever I see them, they typically fail, but really, Shark Assassins make good work of them. And so far, there are 2 out of 2 with those Super Witches. Only the Queen Shark Dragon Rider attack so far has not worked for them. This Royal Champ is going to finish off the last couple of storages, and that's a pretty big overkill actually. Take a look at how many Super Witches are alive. 3 heroes are left alive. A P.E.K.K.A. from the Siege Barracks survived. And that was a really overpowering 3-star, so a really good job to Shark Assassins. But as you said earlier, they are right now really far behind, unfortunately. So it's not going to be easy, and they're relying on the defense to actually have a chance of a comeback.
Yeah, I think they've put up a great performance, and again, wonderful attack there, but ZBB are in such a commanding position. 2 stars in the lead. They basically have to fail both of their attacks, and when we say fail, it would have to be a 2-star as such. I know it says success, but we talk about a fail in terms of not getting the 3 stars. And interestingly, they still have their top player who is attacking right now. WQ17 had the highest hit rate for ZBB in the pre-qualifiers. 6 3-stars out of his 7 attacks, 97.6% average destruction. So let's see what he can do with this base using the hybrid. I think this is the first one we've seen so far.
Yeah, and interesting stats for all of the people out there is Hybrid is having one of the highest hit rates in those tournament plays. It's not getting used that often compared to like other strategies, for example P.E.K.K.A. Smash. but at the same time, it has the highest hit rate, one of the highest hit rates most of the time. So let's see, as you said, if you can make this work. The Warbreaker is coming in, the Warbreaker is making it, and with this, the offset Eagle should be taken down. But I feel like so far, he's going to use the Hybrid to then get through the Town Hall, which isn't really not usual approach on a base, which I really like to see, just mixing things up.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting. I'm looking at his troop composition. It doesn't look like he has any other option, does it? So we'll have to get that Grand Warden timing down. Has to get through this dangerous area first, though, with the rocket balloons and the super minions, but looks pretty good. And again, I think, like you said, Itsu, it is interesting. Despite sending the Hybrid to the Town Hall, which we don't tend to see, maybe he's counting on the fact that there's not as many spring traps, or I was going to say giant bombs, but we do tend to see them because of sneaky goblins around the Town Hall. He's already took a lot of damage with that Hybrid.
Yeah, like, where's the Hybrid troops? Wait a second, this Town Hall has to go down. Warden is not really following. Wait a second. I feel like there are a couple of miners on the outside. The Royal Champ is trying to take down the Town Hall now. The King ability, Warden ability. But the Town Hall now should go down with the Hawk Riders. The air defense at the bottom is shooting those healers. So I'm not sure if that's going to work at the end, Judo.
I mean, we questioned it, moving the Hybrid into the Town Hall. Maybe he wanted to, you know, outsmart Shark Assassin in the sense of sending where expected. But obviously, we do tend to see a lot of traps around the Town Hall. Didn't react fast enough with the Warden ability. Now, despite that, he's actually got a decent percentage here. Has a freeze spell that he can use to push up towards the 90s. So it will still keep the percentage of ZBB quite high. And they obviously are still a star in the lead as well.
That's right. But I mean, the hope is still there, right? The comeback possibility is still there for us. So the match is not over. They could have just finished it right here and right now. With this attack not working, I feel like the biggest problem as well was just this Tesla farm at the top right. So good base building as well. Take a look at those giant bombs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the outside as well. And then the bomb tower as well. There was a lot of splash damage trap-wise around this Town Hall. And this made things not... This Hybrid had really problems to get into the base with this setup.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't have sent it at a worse area, could he? But at the end of the day, ZBB are still in the lead. But like you said, just keeping things exciting for us. Shark Assassins need to get to 3-star and then hope their defense holds again. That is the only way that they can win this. So let's find out if they can.
That's a good approach. So super excited for the next attack. Then again, we need the next 3-star to keep the dream alive of this comeback. And Shark are coming in. Let's go with the Golem push Lalo. With Sui Lalo just supporting with this Golem, and that's something I'm really excited seeing that from players. Like it's sometimes looking so overpowering in the right hands. So I'm really excited to see if he can make this strategy look OP as well. So far, so good. The Golem is actually not walking away and is tanking perfectly for him. He has not a jump spell with him, but he's trying to push far in this compartment. He can reach quite a few defenses with the Royal Champ now from the bottom side. He should get that scatter out of the way as well. Now with that King, where's the King going? Is that King going for the scatter compartment? That's not optimal, but at the same time, I think it should look okay because the Queen should be able to reach that Eagle the Eagle building and the compartment as well, which then again should be okay, but the King is inside that single point tower range.
Yeah, thankfully runs away from it, but unfortunately then runs all the way to the outside of the base, leaving the Royal Champion vulnerable. Now, she does get the single target Inferno, but still getting pretty good value here. I think that multi is his primary target of the heroes. I think maybe he thought the King would bust through and at least one layer of wall to allow the Queen through, but he can still certainly adapt this with the Lalo. He's got so many spells, still got very good value from the heroes. And just thinking back to last month with QSFN, we've seen a lot of the time where things weren't going to plan, and yet they were able to adapt with the Sui Lalo. It is a strategy that is high skill, but allows you a little bit of flexibility as well.
Yeah, that's right, but he has a lot of spells still left. The Warden ability is not used, but the core Inferno Tower could really cause some problems. the king is still alive. The king is still alive on this far right side. The town hall is the main objective. The town is actually, except the bomb tower, the last defensive tool for this base. The haste spell, he has a rage, he has a freeze left. And things are looking good if the NATO is not going to mess things up. Warden ability is in. And Judo, we are looking at an overpowering 3-shot. This is what I said about Lalo. It can look so easy. Like, try it only once with so many spells. I tried it recently and let's just say it did not look like this. It was a huge mess. Spells were flying around everywhere. But just keeping an overview, keeping track of your spells because you have so many and so many troops, it's really not easy. So really impressive. And whenever I see an attack strategy like this, it's huge respect to the attacker, really good attack. And as we said, this is keeping Shark in the game.
Yeah, my favorite attack to watch for the longest time was always the Queen Charge Lalo, because I love extensive Queen Charges and the Lalo is so complex, but now it is for sure the Sui Lalo, because you just get to see, like you said, so many different options, all of the spell use cases. It's so hard to do. That was a wonderful attack from Shark Assassins. I'm starting to become a bit of a fan of Shark Assassins. I will say they've put up some fantastic attacks, but you see in the bottom left corner, 70% 2-star is all that is required here in order to get the victory. So a huge defense would be needed with this, I would say, drag bat, but he does have a couple of the Dragon Riders mixed in as well.
Yeah, an interesting strategy choice, because I feel like those bad strategies can really sometimes crumble with like the percentage. So sometimes the percentage is really, really low for those attack strategies. So not sure if the attack strategy is the best choice. Maybe they are just going all in for the 3-star. But hey, either way, King is now at the bottom side, fighting with the Testa form. He has to use the King ability early, and there are now the Rocket Loons coming out, which means the King is going to get even less, most likely, with those Loons coming over. But he has not used the Queen just yet. Is he going to try to funnel those Dragons later with this Queen, or where is the Queen going to be used, Judo?
Yeah, it's interesting. You see, he's just focusing his fire on the sneaky goblins up towards the town hall, which is obviously good. If he gets the town hall down, it means he's then just using the dragons in terms of that push for the percentage at that point. I think he probably wanted the air defense down towards the south with the Barbarian King, so that will come into play at the end of the attack, but certainly not the end of the world in terms of bats as well. They could overpower that. You see the percentage going up. He is halfway there towards that 70% mark. So far, so good, and still has his sights set on that 3-star Itsu.
Yeah, that's right. So far it's looking really good. 50% mark is crossed, and he needs 20 more percent around about. Should be doable, right? The Queen is pushing him from this far left side. He used the first bad spell over there as well, right into the Wizard Tower, just like tanky maybe for the Queen. Yep. Those dragons are dying out quickly, and he just got to 60%. Bats are going to be placed on the scatter on the scatter shot, really deep inside the base. And this is so far only at 64.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of cleanup either, Itsu. The bats are going to be vulnerable once the Wizard Tower and the Eagle locks on 66. Oh my goodness! What is happening? The Warden will get the Tesla, and yes, he is just by the skin of his teeth looking like he's going to get the 70%, but the Warden falls! The Eagle is still alive, Itsu, 69%! The minion on the Dark Elixir storage, is it enough? It gets it! Can you believe it? 70% on the smackaroo! He gets 71 in fact! Wow! You've seen the relief on his face. ZBB getting the victory here with 2 percentage points in the end, 72%. Just increasing our heart rate towards the